Christmas.
It's better than Christmas.
It's the Sunday service.
Welcome to the Sunday service. I like that. Hey, crack 'em if you got 'em, son. Well, I'm not going to let you guys get away with just one.
Woo!
I crack 'em if you got 'em, son.
If you got 'em, I pre-cracked mine.
Alex pre-cracked like everything else in life.
Did you?
I'm a pre-crog.
Pre-cracker, Is it a bit too late? Can I say pre-jizzer? Has it been long enough into the stream that I could say non-PG-13 things?
I don't know if our pre-stream has swearing in it.
Oh, it does.
Oh, for sure it does.
And Hundo P does.
So drinking, swearing, smoking.
Well, you know what? That'll be on my for sure list then, is to go through and mute all that stuff.
It definitely, we drop some
Beeps.
F-bombs.
Do beeps. Beeps are
Beeps.
cool.
Or you know what I've seen other people do? They just lower the sound. So you can kind of still hear them go,
Yeah.
but it drops it just a little bit. So I have seen people do that.
I'm just gonna put whenever it goes to someone swearing, I'm just gonna go like a crack 'em.
That'd be funny.
yeah. That's good.
That's funny. I like that.
We'll have to do a couple takes then.
Couple
Opening cans, drink
Yeah,
'em.
don't get the YouTube ones. I tried doing that the one time. I was like, okay, I need a can cracking for one of the videos. I was like, so I just went and grabbed like a Coke Zero and just recorded me cracking a Coke Zero. It made way more sense. So how you guys doing?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Getting one more or 4 weeks out from the draft.
4 weeks out of the draft. It's WrestleMania weekend, so card one was yesterday. Oh, right, Anson Studio. I can actually run.
Yeah, you can run sound bites.
You can run sounds.
This loser?
Yeah, how are you?
I'm awesome.
We never ask you.
I don't care. I usually lead out. Ad was saying WrestleMania week. I didn't watch it. Do you guys watch it?
No.
Yeah, I watched it.
Ad watched
I
it.
watched it with Riker.
So
Yeah,
what
you
were
watched it
you
as a
guys
kid.
were saying Pat McAfee at a
So Pat McAfee
match?
came out and he had a match against The Miz.
Dude, he did a front flip off the turnbuckle out. Like, I get it, wrestling's fake. Oh, I said it. But the dude still front flipped, not into the ring. The guy was outside of the ring, and he flipped off the top rope outside of the ring. It was
I want to thank each and every one of y'all for all you've done to your bodies.
yeah, that was pretty intense.
That was it. That's exactly what happened.
It was crazy.
It was good.
I was like, I had to look at. I was scrolling through Twitter this morning when I was laying naked in bed, and I'm like, is that Pat McAfee flipping out of the ring? Because he's got to be old, right? He's got to be in.
No, he's younger than he's your age, if not younger.
Yeah, could you imagine me front flipping? I mean, granted, I wasn't a professional athlete, but
It takes balls, man.
and it looked like he missed his mark a tiny little bit.
Just a little bit.
It looks like he missed and a little bit jumping. You got to think top of that turnbuckle. That's got to be at least, I'm saying 10 feet up.
Yeah.
You miss that and you land on your back.
It's 15 feet up.
Well, okay, then 15 feet
It's
up.
15 feet up from the ground, and he also hucked a backflip in ring off the top rope.
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's good.
That's wild.
Pretty impressive.
But I mean, regardless, I was trying to explain to Riker. He's 10 years old, really into wrestling. A lot of his friends aren't into wrestling. He's trying to do backyard wrestling because he knew that that's what we did. And I was like, well, we weren't wrestling until we were like in high school.
Yeah.
But the idea is, and I was trying to say, do not waste any time with people that say wrestling's fake. Don't argue with them. If you enjoy it, it's fine. It doesn't matter how.
So are movies.
It doesn't matter exactly. It doesn't matter how
Hey, good
real
call.
you think
Good
it.
take.
Doesn't matter how real it is, because even though it's fake, and Pat McAfee's actually flipping off and he could break his leg.
That's what I mean. He
the
misses.
The chops are real.
Goes
And
over
then-
this much more and he's breaking his neck.
But even remember, so I was trying to tell. I was telling somebody who I don't know, when they weren't like a wrestling fan, or they were kind of a wrestling fan. I was explaining when we were growing up, we would go to like independent wrestling shows. And remember when we stormed the ring at the ECCW show?
I have a picture of that.
We stormed the ring and we started doing moves. And I remember taking the bump in the middle of the ring, and I thought like I saw stars. Like it felt like I was hitting concrete. I thought I was hitting concrete. I thought there was. I knew there wasn't as much.
You weren't trained.
Wasn't trained, and I just knew. I just assumed there was going to be more give. I knew it was going to be hard. I just didn't know it was going to be that fucking hard.
I mean, you're right to say just don't bother arguing, but something to just like acknowledge it's the outcome is determined.
Yeah.
But there's no way that, you can fake all of those things. And there's been some horrific injuries and like
Owen Hart died.
Yeah. Some horrific injuries.
Not in the ring though. Going
Well,
to the ring.
I hate to say it, technically that's exactly where he died, was
Right.
in the ring.
It's actually hilarious to look at a guy like
Owen Hart dying in the ring.
No, bad transition. But I'm thinking of
Terrible transition.
Well, hey.
It's actually kind of funny.
Well, hey, listen, if that would have happened now, you would be able to see it no problem.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
next.
God, yeah.
The only shot that they had that was ever released was like this really wide version, and you don't really ever see it. I remember growing up and that we hearing that news, and you're trying to find you're like, oh,
I think we had
wanna see
ordered the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And,
But-
and
it
the
was-
pay-per-view was delayed.
and it was delayed. We're like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, they still did it. It's wild. But
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan,
Totally.
just looking at him, or like Razor
Hell yeah,
Ramon,
brother.
Razor Ramon, like these guys were. They were actors. They are actors. That's
Yeah.
the funniest thing to kind of think is like, you think of Hulk Hogan as this macho wrestler, but the reality is no, he's an actor, and that's what very athletic and specific to an entertainment, but still that's what all these guys
Sports
are.
entertainment, baby.
To see these big kind of meathead quote unquote looking dudes, but they're like thespians.
But even still, it's almost even a higher degree on top of being like a theatrical actor, because you're cutting promos without any scripts, and primarily you're not even really doing lines, so it's off the dome, and then.
And you've been abusing drugs and alcohol for 7 days of the week and doing 6 shows.
No days off, lots of drugs,
Lots of alcohol.
and then the physical. You got to remember all these high spots. Anyway, so that's why we like it.
Injuries, pain.
Last thing I'll say, but anyone that's listening, yes, this is a Cowboys Cowboys podcast, but we do trail off. What I will say about it is the 90s wrestling era, like late 80s, early 90s, I guess even into the 2000s, I feel like they're going away from that because there's so much now posted. You hear all these guys like Shawn Michaels and give me some other, Jake the Snake Roberts, Kevin Nash. You hear all these stories of these guys on the road in the 90s, and you're like, holy fuck. They're like, they're crazier than rock stars.
Yeah, Ric Flair has some great stories.
Ultra Cowboy shows up and he goes, daily reminder, Dak is still trash. And then his next line, if I had a QB like Dak, I would rather talk about wrestling.
Hey, welcome, Ultra Cowboy. Always a pleasure.
That's kind of
Always
funny.
a pleasure.
That's kind of funny.
Hey, fuck you.
Hey guys.
It's funny.
Hey guys.
Hey, Alex.
I did that.
Hey yo!
There it is. I did that homework you asked.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like
Do we
it.
want to jump into this?
mean,
It could take us some time.
You
That's
know what?
I'm saying.
I'm fine with jumping into it. I like that you've literally prepared a
a Google slide.
slide.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's trying to teach us that these are I want him to convince me.
I'm trying to. Yeah, exactly. I'm here to.
I'm about to
influence
break.
you.
I'm about to break down everything he says.
Yeah.
Tell him how wrong it is.
Yeah.
And because just this morning I saw an article on this guy that is so stupid.
love it.
I'm excited. It looks like I like it. How vaped out were you at this point?
Actually, not too vaped.
Give me a
'cause
scale. Vape 1 to 10.
Oh,
what were you at?
3.
3. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's like
low.
waking up.
Yeah, that's that. Well, it's lower than my wake up because I did it in between my wake up bake and then my pre-lunch bake.
Do you wake up and instantly just?
Not instantly. Like I
5 minutes?
I get ready, get my coffee, and then sometimes I'll sit down and work. But usually
this
I'm like,
loser?
I better go get high.
There it is. Okay, so what do you got then? Explain to the listeners
sure.
what do you have going on here today?
So, as you may or may not know, we have been caring much more about the NFL draft this season, and we've done 6 mock drafts, and we've really started to see patterns of players repeating. And I wanted to just kind of break down what we've seen, and so I did a few mock drafts as well to get the players who I think are going to be available at least via any sort of online mock draft
yeah.
thing. Yeah. And I just made basically a list of rounds 1 through 5 players who I think will be available that the Cowboys should draft. And then on each of those top players, I did, so there's three per round. I kind of broke down that player as to just their strengths.
Would you call it a
weaknesses,
cheat sheet?
It's a cheat sheet, absolutely.
And it's
Yeah.
a cheat sheet to our future big board because we got to make that big board. Come draft day, we need to have some sort of. I'm thinking maybe we make a Excel sheet and get a projection screen going.
Yeah,
with
that
the
would be
Excel
great.
sheet.
Projection screen would be somewhat harder because
it?
you need to have. I mean, I have a projector that's for float, so that's not a problem. But it would just the fact that you just need a lot of darkness.
So what do you think? Stickers or something like?
Well, I just thought
I'll take. Man, I'll literally sit there for 4 hours with 300 cue cards and write everyone's name with a sticky thing. but then we have to order that. So it'd be a lot of setup. That's the kicker to making an actual physical real world board.
Well, let's dive into those options. But I think, digital would be the quickest.
Ideal.
If we're gonna do like a big board,
It could just be on the screen we're gonna have AJ's presentation up. Could just be, there might not even be a physical board. Something that people can see.
it's
But
not
the
hard.
big
It's not hard
board's
for
kinda
our
cool.
viewers. It's more so for when we're in the war room. I
Yeah.
want us to be able to stand around it.
I mean,
have a camera mounted right at
I
the big
agree.
board, so we're looking at it, shot showing us on the
we
big
can
board.
look. We can have a little craft day.
Yeah.
and
We
fucking
might
buy
have
some
to.
poster board and start writing out names.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
In Vink's studio, he already said the one wall works, and
Yes.
then we can just slap stuff up on there.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay,
And
sweet.
we'll just we color code it. It'll be sweet.
Okay, so AJ, dive into this presentation.
Just want to make sure that so anyone who's just listening right now, you'll have to come over to YouTube to get the full experience, see our cool images. But otherwise, let's get into it.
Let's go. AJ's prospects list. Okay,
Okay.
first round. Let's go.
First round. Now, this looks like it may have been designed in 1990 and could be a geospace website, but that's not the point.
Hey,
okay?
Geospace was super successful, just like this list is going to be.
Absolutely. So how I have it broken down is each round, there's a best player available for need,
Yep.
a smartest pick, a feels wrong but fits right pick or picks, and then ledge picks, which are if basically all of the above are not available, then these would be the guys that I would take.
Okay.
Okay.
I
So-
like it. I like
okay.
it. I like it. This is
Yeah.
okay.
So round one, best player available for need, obviously Bijan Robinson.
Yeah,
if he's there.
If he's there, and this is, I don't care about value of running backs position wise. If that dude's at 26, he is the best person at his position available.
And he seems to be popping up between like say 30 to 40% for the Cowboys being available.
The Cowboys aren't drafting him.
No.
And
I don't think he's getting there.
There's just no fucking way he's going to 26, man. The only way the Cowboys trade for him, and I wouldn't be okay with this, is if they trade up to grab him. That's the only way I wouldn't want them to get him, is if they traded up to like 11 or something.
Sure.
Or
Yeah.
9 to get ahead of the Eagles. That I wouldn't be
That's
okay.
too much.
That I wouldn't be okay with. I wouldn't. I wouldn't even want to draft them in the top 10 if we had a top 10 pick. To be honest. I honestly wouldn't. But
For sure.
at 26, yes, he to me is, if he's there, he's your go-to. And running backs a need.
It is.
So-
It is a big need. And so the smartest pick, of course, is Osiris Torrance, guard. The feel, and I have more slides to talk about these guys.
Gotcha.
But feel free to hop in whenever you want.
Oh, yep.
The feels wrong, fits right pick is tight end with either Michael Mayer or Dalton Kincaid.
Yep.
More than likely, Michael Mayer would be available, but there has been a few instances I saw Kincaid. So.
Slides, yep.
And then the ledge picks, where if everyone else is gone, I think you can look at Jordan Addison or Brian Bresci.
Man, to be honest, before you jump ahead, I think realistically, and I know a lot of people are against tight end at 26, but I kind of put that as the same as running back. If they're the best guy, they're the best guy. And to be honest, if you draft any of these, 8 guys, all of them are going to make a difference on the team.
Yeah.
And that's the important part. With your 26 overall pick, you got to think of it this way. If you put this dude into this position on the Dallas Cowboys next year, will he make a difference? And I think all 8 of those guys will.
Yeah, and so now we can look at just the top 3 players a little more closely. Robinson, Torrance, or the top 3 picks that I think.
Okay.
Robinson, Torrance, and Mayer. So Robinson here, and some of this might be a little hard to see, but we've looked at this stuff. Thank you to PFF. We have his career stats on each slide for these players, for the auto listeners. We're going to have their career slides, their 2022 comparables.
Look at AJ go. I'm impressed.
Age, height, weight,
You're
and speed.
hired. You're hired.
Pros and cons, and then in true Cowboys fashion, a nice picture of what they look like, because that's
In front of a Lambo.
Yeah, and this is 90% of how we make a decision is
Yeah.
based off of the picture. So
I would draft him just the way he looks. He looks like a strong
absolutely.
dude.
So
How much do you want me to interject comments?
As much as you want,
as much
go
as you
for
want,
it.
but just let me
because
get,
it's irrelevant if we go to the next slide.
no,
So-
yeah.
okay,
Let me just get through pros and cons, and
Yep.
then we can hop in if there's anything for the from the chat.
Because you know Cowboy Nation loves to chime in on draft talk.
I
For
love
sure.
it. I
Who
love
we
it.
should grab, why you're an idiot, things like that, right?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
So the pros for Bijan, it goes without saying, the guy has power, speed, elusiveness. He's a great replacement for Zeke, in my opinion. He picks up right where Zeke left off, say 2-3 years ago, or at least the first 6 games of the last season.
Right.
He has the receiving ability too. His cons ironically enough, are his fumbles, a la Zeke. And he's had some minor injuries, but I don't think any of them have kept him out of playing
for
football.
too long.
Yeah.
Another con to me that could be up there would be, and I'm comparing him to Zeke, and this is why he's not a top 5 pick, is he doesn't block like Zeke. He's not pass pro like Zeke, but how many running backs are?
Yeah.
How many running backs are as good as blockers as Ezekiel Elliott? Not very many. So it's hard to even hold that as against the dude.
And I don't think we see his blocking grade on here, unfortunately. But yeah, that is something that, I mean, if he can't, then we don't really have a blocker in the halfback position. But it's not a reason not to.
No,
draft.
but I mean, get it. Crack him if you got him. Son.
Correct him if you got him.
But is that a reason not to draft the guy that is a running back? You're drafting a guy as a running back to be a running back, not to be a blocker.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. It's just I mean, and honestly, if he does start to block more, then it's like, do you have the right running back? And in that situation, that's probably why they aren't re-signing Zeke.
Well, you don't want to pay your 4th overall pick $90 million on his second contract to be an offensive lineman in the backfield.
Yeah, you pick up an offensive lineman.
You pick up an offensive lineman. Or a tight end for a lot cheaper. That's just going to block.
For some reason, I can't see the cons there. Can you scroll down?
Oh, because they're hidden behind Ant's head.
Okay.
That's okay.
Hey, where? Dude, what if I duck? What if I Mike Tyson? Roll it, son.
Hang on, Adam's just fixing.
Adds tinkering.
So that's Bijan. I think that goes without saying. The next one is Osiris Torrance.
I'm starting to like this guy more.
Look at him. Hey, he looks like a freaking warrior.
He does. I'm starting to like this guy more.
Big boy, 6'5", 330. His pros, he's just big and strong. They say that he was built in a lab to play guard, and he has basically zero improvement needs in terms of his play. Maybe he could be faster, maybe he could be more strong, but there's nothing like he's ready to get in there and play. Cons, he's got average quickness and he could be more aggressive. Not to say that he isn't aggressive, but keeping that being consistent.
And sometimes you just need to you got to remember these guys are young. Coaching's going to help them. Learning from Zach Martin is going to be a huge help to any guard that we draft.
For sure.
And another thing I hope is a pro, and it sounds like it is because you have zero improvement needs.
Yeah.
Day 1 starter.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
if that guy gets drafted by the Cowboys, he's coming into camp. He is starting at left guard from day 1.
Whoa, so interesting. Torrance is my number 30 player currently, says EJ Will McClay Savage.
I mean, we're drafting at 26 though.
Yeah.
Is there a guard ahead of him?
Keep in mind.
Great question.
And keep in mind that this is obviously based off of the PFF draft. So some players who you might be like, oh, they just weren't available. Cowboys have a very awkward pick at 26.
It's weird. It could go so many ways.
In fact, so awkward that I don't necessarily like the second round for the Cowboys.
Yeah, 58's even worse.
Yeah,
almost.
It's a rough one. So after Torrance...
10! A 10! A fucking 10!
Gentlemen.
After Torrance, we have big Michael Mayer, or Myers is who I always like to say.
Yeah, I know. I posted and a guy had messaged me. He's like, oh man, I thought I went full... He's like, I thought the guy was Michael Meyer.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Meyer. What's the word when you read shit backwards?
Dyslexic.
Dyslexic. He's like, I went full dyslexic. I thought you guys called them Michael Mayer or Meyer. Now I'm fucking it up.
Now, look, it's
Fuck
contagious.
me.
It's contagious, isn't it?
Was that a Vape 10 explanation?
Hey, we do not open the windows in this room.
It's no windows are open.
6'4", 249. These weights might be a little lower than what the player actually weighed into also on draft day. So, for example, I think Mayer might be 265.
Wow.
But still, but slow, only a 4.7. That being said,
Looks like a dummy.
he
Looks like a serial
I think
killer.
he kind of looks like Wish Captain America. But he's a run blocker receiver combo, perfect tight end size. I watched this thing. It was actually on Pat McAfee where they showed the heights of quality receivers, the max heights. It's basically 6'6" is kind of your
Window.
top window.
Ceiling.
So he's in that good range. And
Did they give an explanation for that?
I think it's
I've always wondered that.
I didn't listen closely enough because I was working, but I saw the list. But I believe it came down to just being like, the athleticism starts to not matter after when you're in 6'7", 6'8", you might as well go play basketball.
Yeah, okay. I was like, because you always wonder, and not to mention basketball players make bank. You always wonder, if you're athletic enough to be a 6'8", 6'9" wide receiver, you're probably one of the most dominant basketball players around. So they don't even pursue football. That makes sense.
It's smaller competition when you're that size. Right?
Oh yeah. What is it? And we're going off track a little bit.
That's how we do.
Males that are over 7 feet tall in the United States of America, 25% of them.
1 in 4.
Yeah, 1 in 4 make the NBA.
And that's not
pretty damn
that's
good
not
odds.
considering the guys who don't play.
Even try.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay, so just as Alex taking a drink, I can get a fucking word in here before he switches the slides.
I'm not done yet.
Slow feet. Avila is better. That's from Ultra's comment from the last
Torrance?
for Torrance.
Keep up with us here, Ultra.
Well, he is. I'm just.
hey man, but then
guys are
why is Avila not as good as not on many other people's board? There's some people that have him down in the 60s.
Okay, and then
in
we
the 50s.
And then our draft captain, which he should be our
McClay?
draft. Yeah, Will McClay, EJ Savage says Darnell Wright and John Michael Schmitz are ahead of Torrance currently, both technically not listed as guards, but I feel like they have flex to play there.
Hey. But okay, so they saying like a Tyler Smith type thing.
Yeah.
It could be, but it wasn't for the first pick.
Right.
They weren't there. And I definitely, EJ, let's uncock that bottle next time you come on, because I want to know more about these guys. But sorry, to finish up with Michael Myers.
The killer.
Michael Mayo. He's also physically aggressive, which is nice. I like a football player that's got that dog in him, okay?
Yeah, I like it.
He's not fast, and he also had some inflated numbers because his team lacked talent. I think that they wrote it as a con, but you could also flip it as a pro because that means he's the only target, and he's the only guy out there. So
I don't like that as a con, to be honest. That it kind of seems team lack talent. How the fuck is that his problem? He did what he could. Sure, they targeted him more, maybe is what they're saying. But
they're saying because, but I think you could also flip it and be like, well, if his team lacked talent, then the defense knew the ball was going to him.
Exactly, totally.
So,
100
kind of is a wash, right?
Hundo a P.
Earlier on, before we even got on to Michael Mayer, EJ said, I finally got around to watch Mayer, and I don't think I like him as much as some people. He's number 33 on my big board currently.
Hey, for best player available at need, for me, I think I would rather have Kincaid, but Mayer is more obviously there.
Kincaid's probably the guy. Well, he would be if you're going to go tight end at that point. There's a possibility neither of these guys are there.
And then
For sure,
Right?
I did a few where there was Breesy and Addison, and that's why there are.
That's it. That was it. Yeah, Breesy's. I would say Breesy for the amount of mock drafts I've done, he's almost always there.
Yeah, pretty often.
So there's some interesting comments about the lineman about Torrance.
Okay.
Just want to hit them. But
Yeah, because we're wrapped with first round,
'Cause
so
guess what?
let's hit comments for first round.
No one gives a fuck about Michael Mayer, apparently, except for us.
We'll go back to Torrance then. AJ, go to the Torrance slide.
So Ultra Cowboy saying Avila gets to second level better than Torrance. Even Duke says Steve Avila is the best line guard, left guard in the draft. EJ Savage counters and says, Steve Avila is my 35 ranked player. Torrance is the power run guy. Avila is the pass protector.
Yep.
Which, if we're going to look at Mike McCarthy, Torrance fits a little bit better into what McCarthy wants to scheme out there with more of a run-heavy team.
Mm-hmm. You also got to be careful, and this isn't against Cowboy Nation at all, but a lot of people that are Cowboys fans are going to have a prior love for Steve Avila because he grew up in Arlington. He played for TCU.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the storybook situation, but
oh, and you know what Jerry likes.
Oh yeah, but we even
Yes,
said
I
this.
do.
We even said this last Wednesday when we did our draft, version 6, which is up on YouTube if you're looking for it.
Holla.
Holla. We traded back to get him, and we even were saying how we still felt like we were reaching to get him when we traded back to 30. So
Yeah.
to me, if it goes to the guard situation, I personally, Osiris is. I would, if they were both there and both for the taking, I would take Osiris. And there's even some people
Because of his size and speed?
Yeah, he's just a bruiser. The guy looks like he looks like an absolute monster. And then there's actually even arguments right now that Moch Pit might be ahead of
Sure.
Avila. So I don't know. And this is the beauty of the draft. We're gonna get all this shit going. We still got 4 weeks to talk about it, and when draft day comes, ooh, emotions are gonna be high, baby.
And we're going to be better for it. But there, trust me, if we miss out on Avila or Torrance, there are some other guards later on in the draft
Totally.
that are on this list.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they're exciting looking
All
players.
right, so
okay?
I think that's round one.
That's round one in the book. So round one is a pretty, in my opinion, very easy to select.
So who you taking?
DPAN. This order right here. This is my order.
That's your big board right there.
Bijan,
Okay.
Torrance, Mayer.
Okay, so you actually had it down there. Okay, gotcha.
Pretty much like it's influenced by obviously how I would
Draft.
pick. I more than likely will go best player available for the need.
And this
every
is
time.
this is taking out players that there's no way they're going to be at 26.
Exactly.
Like awesome. Quentin Johnson
sure,
would be
but-
amazing. Joey Porter Jr. Fucking rights. Deontay Banks. Gonzalez. There's a lot of players. Yeah, of course, if they fell to 26, we'd take them.
Yeah,
but it's just not going
okay,
to happen.
Don't blame us. Don't blame us. Blame PFF for not adjusting their draft board.
My question then is, let's say, okay, so we just said if we know that these players won't be there, so let's take Bijan off of there.
Bijan.
Bijan, I just keep saying it because Bijan. Let's say Robinson isn't on. Like, let's say take Robinson out of the equation. Who would you have added?
Torrance.
Torrance. Okay.
No, who would you added player wise?
You have Bijan, Torrance, and then you have Michael Mayer. So if you don't do that, like who?
What player?
So
Mazzie
right here.
Smith.
So then it would be Jordan Addison or Brian Brees.
Oh, so he does have AJ has backups.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got the backups
Hey!
are the ledge picks.
Did Ad just get dunked on? BW1 just got BW2 dunked on.
It's
No,
a good
because-
question.
He should have.
I did. I
He should have
broke
kept
it
on reiterating it to me. You know.
Oh, sorry. So round two.
Here we
Oh,
go.
hang on. Let me bring it up on the screen.
Dun, da, 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 pick 58. We're back to that beautiful GeoCities website. Best player available for need, I think, is Zach Charbonnet. I'm hot on this guy.
You like him.
I love this dude. I watched him
UCLA.
run, man. He's strong and he's fucking quick and he's exciting. Smartest pick would be probably Eli Ricks or Julius Brents. Of course, if we haven't picked a running back, then I would think Zach Charbonnet, but he's the best player available at need, so runner-up smartest picks would be Eli Ricks, Julius Brents. Julius Brents, I believe, is a safety, but he's being drafted as a cornerback, so I think he maybe plays a flex there.
spot.
I could be wrong. So EJ Savage, don't call me out, or call me out if I'm incorrect, but be nice about it. Feels wrong, fits right. Michael Wilson, wide receiver,
Still, I think early. Yeah,
early, but
bit early, but
it's that awkward pick, man.
it's that awkward.
58.
And it can still, it is.
sucks.
There's probably. Yeah, you're right.
And then ledge picks are Tuli Tuipuloto,
Yep.
A.T. Perry, or Rashi Rice. I'm basically looking for a big wide receiver.
That's what you're looking for right now.
In the
round
second
two.
round, if all of the above are gone, I mean, I feel like it's the ledge pick. If there's no one else there for us, then you go for these one of those
Well,
three guys.
I do like your Charbonnet. I like.
Charbonnet.
Well, can you go back? Go back to.
Oh, sorry.
I like Ricks, and I like Thule.
Okay,
Those are the three that I like that you got there.
So
So hopefully you don't fuck it up for us. 'Cause I have
Charbon-
to back what you got going on.
Charbonnet, here we go. 4'5" for starters, not bad.
Great chest.
6 foot. Oh, he's a very handsome man too. He's a creative run. He's got a creative running arsenal. He can spin move. He can hit B. He can hit X. He can hit Y.
Why in the open of the field when you just randomly flip, try to dive over someone?
yeah.
No one's around you.
He was a bell cow. He basically averaged about 20 touches per game.
I like
throughout
that.
his career, and he's got nice soft receiving hands, so he can get out in the flats.
I do like that.
Or just little short passes. The cons though, he's had 640 career touches already in college, and there's nothing elite about the guy.
He's
kinda
like a vanilla running back. Like he just does everything so good that nothing stands out. And the good thing with how the NFL's going and the way that the Dallas Cowboys are going, he's not going to be touching the ball 20 times a game.
No.
He just has to come in there and whoever they end up drafting as Ezekiel Elliott's replacement, just has to be the 1B to Tony Pollard's 1A.
You just have to get 6 yards per your 6 yards per average carry.
I mean, if anyone did that, that'd be amazing.
5 yards, because Zeke only was averaging like what, 3?
If Zeke was not doing good.
No, if you were
go over
doing 3.5,
if you go over 4, if you go 4, anyone that takes over for Zeke, if they go 4.5, 4.5 yards per carry,
that's huge.
we're laughing.
Yeah,
But 6, AJ's jerking off onto a counter somewhere.
We're turning this into an OnlyFans if that's the case.
Good.
But I watched. I was forced to watch some highlights here, and
Well, no one forced you. You had to so you
like
could be
to
intelligent.
I like to say that. I like to say I was forced. But he is a powerful runner. There was a couple plays where he's like throwing defenders off of him, and it got me super rock hard excited.
You were jacked up.
I was jacked up and jacking off.
I like it. That's what we like to hear. Zach, I mean, you've been talking about this cat for the last couple weeks, and maybe I'm starting to.
We've never. I don't think we
We
drafted
have no
drafted him.
because we
Which
don't
is
draft
weird.
him because he's at second round he's too far down and he's never available at third round.
Yeah.
too far down. Second round, he's never available third.
So
his draft buzz picture isn't great. He's too vanilla. He just doesn't fit the mold that the Cowboys fan wants to draft.
So-
which is crazy that this is your number one. I kind of like where we're going here.
Well, again, obviously I put Bijan and then Zach Charbonnet, so you wouldn't draft 2 running backs back to back.
Right.
But this is
You're saying if he's there,
it's not based off of what we pick, what we would have
Exactly.
picked in the first round. It's purely based off.
Lucky
of what's
for your
available.
pick here, we are not going to be drafting Bijan because he won't be available.
I honestly don't think Bijan or Charbonnet are going to be. I think Charbonnet, someone else is going to take him because he's arguably.
Before 26?
No.
I don't think Cowboys will take
I think
him
the
at second.
Bijan will be gone before 26. They'll take their player.
Yep.
And then by the time they draft at 58,
Oh yeah, he'll be gone by then.
I think
Yeah,
Charbonnet
He could be
might.
gone,
I think
too.
Charbonnet might be gone
But-
too.
but we could-
Charbonnet.
Charbonnet, darling, Charbonnet.
Then you get into the question: do you trade down?
That's
No,
what- no.
I'm not trading up for a running back.
This,
you mean back?
No, this is the round where it would.
Because I like what AJ's saying. Sorry to cut you off again. He's always been harping on how 26 is a tough pick. So it's like, do you trade?
58.
Yeah, no, but
I guess
do we
both.
do we trade down in 26, and then you have like 2 stronger high second round picks?
So if
I wouldn't trade first round, but
do you mean
second
when
round
you're
I would
saying
trade.
26, you're saying trade down? You mean like go into
Trade back.
Trade back.
Trade back 26.
Because down would be
Yeah.
up the board.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
no, that doesn't make sense because if you trade down the board, like going forward, you're
Yeah.
losing your second round pick probably.
So I think honestly at second round it might make the most sense if the Cowboys are thinking of trading. I think the second round is to make the trade, especially if you can only drop back say 4 or 5 picks, which I think would put us either right at the end of the second or right at the beginning of the third, and then you pick up a third or fourth. I like that movement.
I just in our mocks. I just been not that this is all your homework. I like Eli Ricks, and I'll be upset.
finish your.
Oh,
and we'll get into him.
Sorry, I just saw that dog.
Were you talking about Eli Ricks?
Yeah, we're talking about. No, I'm not talking about Eli Ricks.
What were you
Before, I
going to
was
say?
I was talking about running backs. I'm happy with our 3rd and 4th round running back picks that we've been doing in these mocks. That I really don't care about 1 or 2. Like there's some dogs
fair.
later on.
There
so
is.
so
There,
I'm-
you know
there
what?
is.
There's
We're
some
gonna get
fucking,
to it.
there's some fucking dogs.
It's like let's get the pressure off of us about this. Like we know we're not getting Bijan. We're not going to get Charbonnet. We're
it's
not
probably
going to
gonna be it's probably gonna be nice, and I think I said this earlier to you guys when we were doing one of our mocks. When Bijan goes at 14 or 15 or 16 to whoever, and it's like, okay, he's gone. We don't have to worry about him
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
He didn't go to the Eagles at 10.
Yeah.
Well,
That's going to be the first nerve-wracking
That'll
thing
be
of
the
the
first.
draft.
That'll be the first nerve-wracking thing of the draft. Get past the Eagles.
Hopefully they draft a kicker.
Hopefully they take a kicker, and then it's just like if he gets picked, he gets picked.
they're going to be like it. I just have a bad feeling about it. I got a bad feeling about it.
But let's talk about your boy Eli Ricks, okay?
I like Eli too.
He's a young guy. He's got that body size I like. He's big and he's long, Jerry. He's excellent with press coverage too, which I think is interesting. And he's a route reader in man coverage. Other people's words, not mine, but I tend to believe them. And the cons about him, he's got ugly footwork and he's had shoulder and back injuries, and those tend to be where you're landing on a lot of the time. So
You don't
it's
like the
only a matter
injuries.
of time when that adds up. But can you get 3-4 quality years out of him?
Get him some of that some of that NFL doctors, though. You know,
Yeah, get him.
Oh, yeah,
You're
yeah.
good.
Oh, yeah.
Take this shot. Hey, speaking of NFL doctors, AJ, toss me one of those NFL injections.
toss me one of them, son.
We need to keep hydrated on the show.
Hit me over here.
Fire that fucking pigskin!
Look at that one.
I think more often than not, I catch it like that from you.
Yeah, it's because I'm throwing perfect dots.
Is this
baby.
gonna explode? No.
Crack 'em if you got 'em.
It's just two!
There's not really much to say about Ricks. We've talked about him a lot, but
I want him.
he just tends to be there. He's solid physically. My biggest concern with the dude is his injuries, and because if those linger, the pick is worthless. Is he worth the risk? I think so, though.
And cornerback, with cornerback before the Stephon Gilmore trade, I thought it was a huge need. With
Yes.
going at 26, you almost have to take a cornerback.
Now
that you have Gilmore there, do you get a dude that can just kind of come in and learn behind?
Yeah.
Listen to this scouting report from EJ Will Savage. Eli Ricks has a mom that's overbearing and controlling, apparently. Cannot understate how much that can stress out a player.
Cut her out of her life, Tyron Smith style.
Tell me about it.
Diana's not
Cut
overbearing.
her, cut her out of the life.
Okay, the next dude, and I put CB safety because I saw him as safety and I saw him as a CB listed. Okay, so
And he looks 15.
but I think
Looks 15.
I'm looking at him as a cornerback. He's big, 6'3". He's pretty fast at 4'5". When I looked at his tape and its highlights, so I could be missing a lot, but he reminds me of kind of a Donald Wilson, Trevon Diggs hybrid. The dude is just there to catch bad passes. He's just there, and he's there to catch tips, and he comes down and hits guys like Donald Wilson.
He hits. He
runs
lays
them
the
over.
boom.
Yeah. So at least in the highlights I saw.
I like the boom hitters, man.
He tracks
comes the boom.
He tracks the ball well downfield. He's smooth and fluid in the hips, and he's got good catch up speed. So maybe he gets beat, but he can catch up to those guys. His footwork needs improvement, and he can sometimes be confused by routes. So maybe it's
the bet, like when someone just runs by you, you don't know what they're doing. You freeze mode.
yeah. Just like he just runs off to the side of the field. I think I think that in the case where he would be playing, I don't know how. I don't know if he'd have to deal with any crazy routes with Gilmore and Diggs on the field. But you know, if it's a weakness, teams will scheme against that. So.
Yep.
Yeah, unless they're like
So any wrap up here for round 2, or should we just go on to round 3?
I just want to say, as far as cornerback goes,
Yeah.
I feel pretty good about cornerback. I would love to get another very good player, but our 1 to 4, Trevon Diggs, Stephon Gilmore, Jordan Lewis, Deron Bland. And then you could even sprinkle a little bit of Nashawn Wright in there. Like,
I'm happy
the
with it.
cornerback room's looking pretty good, but if you can get someone that's going to challenge even Stephon Gilmore for playing time.
Let's get a corner that can learn underneath some vets and then be a good replacement in 2 years.
And cut. I think Calvin Joseph's a camp cut this year too.
We're going to
That's
cut
last thing I'll say.
that boss man
Fat's getting trimmed. Oh,
So
we're seeing some picks here,
You're gonna,
baby.
You're gonna. I hated this round, by the way.
It looks tough.
So
Ooh,
best player
I see
available
my guy
for
right there.
need.
Ooh.
Garrett Williams. Smartest pick would be Dwayne Actually, I don't hate this pick for this reason. Dwayne McBride and Tank Bigsby. Both two halfbacks, both look good on film, baby. Feels wrong, but fits right is Dorian Williams at linebacker. Thing about him is he doesn't have good size, but if you scheme him to be the dude who's going to be playing more of kind of a secondary linebacker position where he's going to be playing passes more often than not, I think that's where his size is going to be really helpful, because then in that sense you can kind of look at him as I know it's not a typical combo, but like a cornerback in a sense, at least against a tight end or something like that. Still small, I know, but can we
Looking tough.
and ledge picks? We've seen this guy before. Moro Ojomo, defensive interior. Ty J. Spears, who I don't like, but you know, if he's there and we don't have a halfback and everyone else is gone, you might as well pick him.
He's the last of
He's
like the
last.
bunch.
Yeah. And then Parker Washington, wide receiver, who I didn't break down, but you know, I like the guy. I like the kid, but we're not going to get.
I'll ask you this,
into
AJ. We went through 3 rounds now. No toothless gap wonder of
Cody
Mach
Mach.
Pit.
It's not available. He
Oh,
was,
okay,
he's not
I
there.
forget. You're
Yeah.
right. So this is how.
Let's do it. We'll do another one where with our ideal.
Okay, so
picks.
you're saying okay. I just
Let's
went.
do
in-
that-
I see what you did.
Yes, this is. He just wasn't there.
Never there with
He's
the
never
picking.
there.
You took a 10-player radius.
Pretty much like if I did 5,
Okay, 5-player radius.
Yeah.
You ran a bunch, and then okay. I like
and then
it.
I picked who could be there, and then obviously
Again, like you said, we're in
broke
this
them down,
weird
but-
fucking between first and second round. There's going to be a lot of players in between 26 and 58 that you'd almost be better off. Like, think about the dudes. Think about the guys that are drafting, and obviously they finished shitty, so they're drafting early because they had a terrible season. But think of the guys that are drafting like 8th and like 39th or whatever it ends up being.
yeah.
You're getting 2 starting
You
quality
get
players.
two quality players.
Here's the thing: is you're always. I think the Cowboys have to reach every round, and so just expect that.
So 2 things. One, Nate Dogg's in the house. What up, Nate?
Sup,
Dogg?
dog?
And then just for
We gotta get Nate on the show. He hasn't been on in a while.
the true one, $38 on TikTok. He just wants to know why y'all not talking about Gibbs, because he keeps going. He thinks Gibbs is better than Bijan.
Oh, wow.
A lot of the stuff that we're talking about, just if you're tuning in, it's just if they're available. So Alex is going through a mock. He's going through those rounds. Most likely in the first round, we're not going to draft Gibbs at 26, and then by the second round, he's just not going to be available.
Gone. He's
gone.
Probably a reach at 26.
Yeah.
Although he's saying, this guy on TikTok saying that he feels like he's better than
Bijan,
which I respect. He's got a guy that he likes.
Which then, as I'm going to say, trade down on the draft board. You'd actually trade up to go back. Then you would pick up a guy like Gibbs because you're getting more maybe in the second round, possibly, and then it's not looking.
Yeah,
like
if the Cowboys like Gibbs, they trade back to 30th.
Sure.
Grab Gibbs and an extra second or something.
And then Dallas
I'd
Cowboys
like that.
Dallas Cowboys. Chris is in the house.
What up,
He shows
Chris?
up every Sundays. We got
I love it.
Chris. DM us. We want you on next Sunday, dog.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we'll definitely. I think that sounds really fun. We'll do our own dream draft, where we
Next
can make
Sunday
anything
service,
happen. Yeah,
next
yeah.
Sunday service
Yeah.
is at this point. We have like. Then we all gotta. We'll do a little homework this week.
Yeah,
Come
well-
up each round. Well, you got 8 guys each round.
Roughly between 4 and 8, or
So we'll
5
do-
and 8.
we'll do
sorry.
something like that.
Yeah.
The true one, $38 sign says, remember Bijan is an all down back, but Gibbs is a better fit for Dallas to be with Pollard. That's why he likes Gibbs better.
Because he's bigger. And
You know,
I like that.
And I haven't. We honestly, unfortunately, because of how we're our draft knowledge is really centered around what we're doing on those mocks. So we don't really see Gibbs. We hear a lot about him, but he's just never available. So we haven't talked about him.
and it's actually surprising that we've even done as much research on Bijan because, like I said earlier, I don't think he's going to be
Yeah.
there.
So round 3, pick 90, best player available. I already went through these, so let's go. Garrett Williams here. He's cornerback. He got injured in 2022, which I don't like, but he's just and he actually, I think, is also available in the 4th sometimes. So, but he's got quick feet, fluid hips. He shines in man coverage, and he's got a nice, good speed burst. Definitely not as sexy in terms of his stats and his comparables to the other cornerback. So if we get down to this point and have another cornerback, I think you just might put that in your back pocket and not get one for the rest of the draft. Some other cons beside his ACL injury, he could use that dog mentality, which is something I think is a big con, and he's inexperienced in press coverage.
But the one good, like with the con again, the tore ACL, if we're drafting a guy in the 3rd because he's injured,
Sure.
you're basically saying you're getting a redshirt year. Like you're coming in and you're going to sit behind these guys. You're going to learn. You're going to be in meetings. So maybe whoever ends up getting him, imagine he goes in the 4th, someone might be getting a steal of the draft. And the Cowboys have been known to kind of go for those players. They took Jalen Smith in what year was that? I want to say 2016. They took Damone Clark last year in the 5th round, like guys that had injury concerns. And even Jalen Smith ended up having a couple good years prior to being not able to hold up with it. And those 2 dudes, we're talking about spinal fusion surgery and then drop foot. Like those are injuries that guys don't come back from. And tore ACL, I'm almost thinking now in today's sport medicine world is almost
Not that bad.
It's not as bad as it was 25
No,
years ago.
fuck
It's
no.
still concerning. It's still concerning, but it's not like you hear a guy had spinal fusion. You're like, oh my God.
The decision you need to make is, do you think your round 3 player needs to make an impact on the field now,
Totally.
or can you wait half a season or even a full season?
Well,
That's the
look
decision.
So
you gotta
let's
make.
let's just look at the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So Jalen Tolbert last year, right?
Yeah.
So they're obviously, I mean, and even a lot of the time, you think of Calvin Joseph a couple years ago. Sometimes even your second round doesn't do shit, right?
Yeah.
But
you want them.
Oh, you want
to
them.
draft your first and second round to be
start.
starters, and then do you? I don't know. I'm asking kind of the question. I'm not really settled on where that pivot starts to be more
Yeah.
risky. Is it the third? And I think at this point you got to consider that at the 90th pick, it's close. It's pretty far down.
it's like a 4th round pick.
Yeah, we're at the end of that top 100 player list, and that doesn't mean that they're all available because people are going to jump.
You're looking
pick
at
up
guys
there,
that you
so.
think you can mold into being really good players in the next couple of years. And this
Exactly.
guy could be that.
He could be that. So those are fair arguments. Here he is. Look at that fucking stud, Dwayne
This is my
McBride.
guy.
Garrett Williams. Sorry, one last thing. He gets to players behind the O-line often, behind the line of scrimmage often, which I liked. And if the pass is off target, he's catching that ball. So
like that.
if the quarterback's not accurate, he's going to be making it.
He's a magnet. And he was toted a bit higher. So I'm thinking maybe his rehab isn't going as planned prior to the draft, prior to the combine, because he was higher on boards prior. So his tape's obviously really good, but the injury thing is what's dropping him back.
concerning.
But if you take him in the 3rd round, you have time that he could get right.
You also got to consider other people moving up, and then the need of him drops down. I don't know if that's the case, but sorry. Back to Dwayne McBride. What a handsome stud!
This is
I love
my
this
guy.
photo. Yeah,
If we don't get Bijan, this is the running back I
So
want.
when we don't get Bijan,
Yeah, so
Well,
this is
exactly.
the guy I want because he's the thunder to the lightning, man.
I feel like McBride, and you might be kind of excited about Tank Bigsby too, but I think this is the round for running back for the Cowboys.
3.
Round 3 is. This is the smart pick for them. Why is Dwayne McBride so cool? Well, I actually did watch his highlights, and he's patient. He's patient behind the lines. A little Barry Sanders-esque. Of course, I'm not comparing him directly to him, but the patience behind the line was really like he's almost pausing. Yeah. And then he finds these little tiny holes to make big runs, and he bounces outside really fast too. So if there's nothing in the middle, he'll bounce outside really quickly. Pros about him. Footwork helps him fit through those tiny spaces. He runs big on tape, and he's had a 7.2 average in his college career. Yards per average. Cons, can't catch the football.
Well, I guess bad hands just runs in the family.
and he played only 2 Power 5 defenses in his
Yeah.
career.
So that one is a little concerning. Obviously, you haven't played against a lot of the big schools, but you watch this guy run the football, and you can tell that this guy doesn't matter. He's going to be that thunder if whatever team he's on.
Yep.
So I've been a big Dwayne McBride guy for the last few months here, and the small school, I like the storyline too.
Yep.
Coming from a small school, going up, and then who knows? You get a guy like him come out, and then you get him in the 3rd round, and he ends up being one of the best running backs in the rookie
game.
class. Like, I just like the story.
And for the value that you're getting, so even let's say 7.2 against, say, B teams.
Yeah.
Well, if he's playing A teams, would he be a 6.5, a 6? I mean, that's still fucking,
Very good.
it's not going to change my mind.
No, fuck no. Get it in there. Crack.
Crack
Double
if you got
crack
that.
him. Crack him if you
Oh,
got
crack
him,
again.
son.
That one hurt my finger.
No, I
So
definitely
we
would
like
be happy
him.
with this pick.
But right after him is another dude, Tank Bigsby. This guy, his running style is really fucking, I don't know, it stands out. He looks like he runs tall and just straight. Like, he doesn't, his pros are, he's got the best cut in football, possibly in college football. He changes his speed well, and he's tough between tackles. But the highlights I saw of him, he would just basically find a hole and just run straight.
Yeah.
Like no variance. So I didn't really see a lot of that cutting, but I'm no expert. But he runs with power. He goes through defenders. He doesn't really try to like cut around them. So I really liked his running style there. But he's got inconsistent production and narrow vision. So although we can fit through those tiny holes, he can also miss some obvious ones because he's focused on something.
And there's nothing more aggravating than when you're watching a running back as a fan. And I'm sitting here on a comfy couch drinking a drink.
We all are.
But like they cut or they don't cut, and you're just like, what the? They're in front of you.
Are you fucking stupid?
Well, they're in front of you. How did you not know to go left?
Yeah.
Or to not run into the guy in front of you. So that is as a fan, is aggravating to watch. But I also like when a guy just runs full tilt. One way.
The only way I can say it is he stands out. If you were to watch like 10 people running, the way that he runs stands out in my opinion.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this guy's fucking.
And he's a big body.
He's a big boy.
6 foot.
Again,
210.
he's probably 220 maybe.
Which I like.
Yeah.
That's a good size. That's
Yeah,
a
he's
bruiser.
big. That might be it. That he actually is a little taller than a lot of the other running backs. So maybe that's
Like
why
a mini Derrick Henry a little bit.
But yeah, I think that's the round for our running backs, round 3.
You're thinking 3, yep.
Okay, so you don't have him here. Our guy, the true 138 in TikTok says, have y'all seen linebacker Johnny Buchanan? Dude's a beast. I said, no, I'll write him down though.
Did you write him down?
I wrote him down.
Okay, nice.
just so
Johnny
we can
Buchanan, okay.
Because we know
We
in the
love
linebacker position, we
suggestions.
want a suggestion for that.
Yeah,
We love suggestions.
Linebacker is the one that I was really looking for. I just don't think it's in this draft.
It's just not this draft. It's being said is
it was hard,
not the
man.
strongest draft.
Okay. Who do you got for your 4th round picks?
So, 4th
AJ,
round
at
picks.
pick 129.
Now, I almost like 4th
Pick
and
129.
5th round. I almost like 4th and 5th round better. So we got Kobe Turner, defensive interior, for the best player available for need, or B-Pan. That's a Cowboys CanFan exclusive. Best player available.
Yeah,
for
B-Pan,
need,
baby.
B-Pan. Smartest pick is Andrew Voorhees, and this guy I really like, guard.
So wait a sec, time out. So we've talked about Michael Myers, and now we're talking about Voorhees. Is this the Halloween draft?
We're getting the 80s. We're getting the 80s
When-
slasher guy.
Imagine
Fifth
they
round's
do.
Freddy Krueger.
No, Frank Krueger.
Frank Krueger.
Yeah, Frank Krueger. Yeah, it'd have to be a
I'm
different.
Frankie
first name.
Cougar.
I'm Frankie Krueger.
Hey, I'm fucking from Jersey. Let's go. I'm Frankie Krueger.
Hey, the Jets are the best. I don't mean the football team.
Jets, Jets, Jets.
Jets.
Feels wrong, fits right pick. Yasir Abdullah edge in. I picked the fucking names, I can't-
Viliami Fioco.
There you go, edge. Now, why is it feel wrong? Because we shouldn't draft an edge, but the
And we
pick
shouldn't draft
fits.
anyone else with the last name Fioco.
No, I know that was a ledge pick. So if no one else is there, there's Roshan Johnson, who I like, and I think he would be if we haven't drafted a halfback by now, we fucking better get him at this pick.
Yep.
And then Davis Allen, although he's going to show up in round 5 too. Davis Allen is a cat.
Oh, you're
like.
double dipping.
Yeah. Well, because he's on that cusp, and I wanted to bring him up.
He's
It's just like if you're like double dipping for dip.
Okay.
You can do it around family. Alex is allowed to double dip in prospects when it's
I
just
like
us
it.
here.
I like it.
Kobe Turner.
Love his picture so far.
I could not find anywhere on the internet how old this guy is. I couldn't find his birthday.
He's like the guy from The Replacements that's let out of jail to play on the team.
Yeah, he could be 30 years old now. In this photo, he's playing for Richmond, but he's playing for Wake Forest, I believe. But I just love this photo of him. He looks like a really nice, happy guy.
He does.
But he's a big boy.
6'3", 290.
Things I like about him, in some of his highlights, there was this one clip, he threw off 3 offensive linemen. Blocks one, throws them off. 2 guys come on him. He throws them off
Excuse
one by
me,
one.
what?
And then makes it to, 2 guys are just coming on him, and he's battling them, wipes them off. And then he makes the tackle behind the line. Like, it was like, this guy, he's got some strength. He's a technician.
And tenacity.
He's a technician with the high motor. He's got quick ball reaction, so he sees where the ball is and then goes and gets it. And he's ready for the NFL physically.
I like it.
Cons is he struggles to shed blocks, which could be a big issue, and he lacks quickness you can put that into your pocket for how much you think a defensive interior should be quick.
Especially one in the fourth round. Like,
Yeah.
you're looking
he's
for
6'3", 290. So
Yeah, he's a big guy. He's not a small fellow.
no, but I like him. He shows up often, and I think if he's there, I wouldn't mind picking him up because although we did sign Hankins and that is the Band-Aid, we lost Carlos Watkins, so you're kind of back to it kind of washes itself.
Tit for tat.
Yeah. This kid doesn't look like much, does he? But
I'm pretty sure I just bought groceries off that guy last week.
You know, I seen this guy working in the hayfields in Greendale yesterday. No, Andrew Voorhees, guard, 6'6", 310. This dude has played 400 snaps each at left guard, right guard, and left tackle.
He's versatile.
Versatile, 6-year starter, scheme diverse. But the cons are he's just an unimpressive athlete. Although he's pretty strong and technically sound. But again, kind of like Charbonnet, I don't think he's not standing out as a lead in any kind of category.
Right.
And he has difficult time locating in space. So when you're moving to the second level, when the guards move into the second level,
Voorhees, who are you blocking?
yeah, I don't know. He's running to the end zone.
No, he talks like Mr. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's Mr. Gilmore's jacket.
Mr. Gilmore's jacket.
This guy, if we don't get a guard, then I like this. I like this pick. He's
6'6",
big.
Jesus.
He's versatile.
6-year starter? Is he a dummy?
Well, he's only 24. Like, he's 24. I know that's old, but, like, it's a really good time.
Van Wilder over here.
Look
Fucking
at,
Van.
look at your cons. Unimpressive athlete.
Yeah, he is.
Difficult time locating space.
Also, I think Cons could be 6-year starter.
Cons. 6-year starter.
You could look at it that way. I think the dude just went and wanted to finish whatever degree.
Well, I mean, he looks
degree he was.
45 anyways.
Yeah. Well,
he
look,
looks like he would do my taxes.
Yeah, he looks older than you
he
guys.
would
And
come
you're looking
in.
at me, and then when you walk into your tax guy, you're just like, you should be a fucking football player.
you should play football.
Look how big you are.
He used to play Chilliwack Huskers.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, guys, the experience that he's had is exactly what we're looking for. He's got left guard, right guard, and left tackle experience. I mean, that's fucking perfect.
Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe fuck yourself.
And final guy, this one, very controversial in my own mind, but
He's an edge rusher, this guy?
yeah, he's an edge. This is what they have him. He's an edge rusher. Very interesting.
6'1",
Yasir
237,
Abdullah,
wow.
edge rusher. Pros, he's got violent.
Sorry, on your Voorhees. Sorry, I didn't mean to take you off of Yasir Abdullah. EJ says Voorhees is injured and likely sitting out the entire season.
Yeah, but that's
That
a fourth
sucks.
pick.
Exactly.
Maybe
Maybe even picking him up after the draft.
No, he'll get drafted.
Well, maybe he shouldn't be fourth, but I like the kid, and if he's available in a late round pick,
A stretch calling him a kid, but whatever.
Well, yeah, he's been in college for 14 years.
he's Van Wilder, Van Voorhees.
Yeah, Van Voorhees.
Van Voorhees.
So Yasir Abdullah, this guy, very big question mark on him, but so pros, violent, precise hands. He's outstanding. He's got this outstanding closing burst of speed, and he wins with all-out hustle. So he's got this big heart. He's a small guy, though, 6'1", 237, maybe a little heavier. His cons is he's going to lose in that phone booth with an NFL lineman, and he doesn't want to play physical.
You got to scheme him up.
You got to scheme him up. But here's some interesting things. There was a lot of plays that I saw in his highlights where he was downfield at times, almost playing like he was a coverage linebacker. So I don't think he looks great or stands out on tape, but he had some really impressive moments on highlights. So he seems like he could be a versatile defensive weapon, and I don't think he's an edge in the NFL, but you could find a place for him to play on the defense and utilize him as a weapon.
Is it possible? Can we get his 40 time up?
Oh, 4.4.
Oh, okay. I like it. I didn't even notice those other ones. Maybe because the last one I looked, they didn't have it.
Yeah, some don't.
Yeah, okay. 4.47, he can fly.
Yeah, so
It's good speed.
all else fails.
AJ came prepared. I like
And
it.
here's kind of my favorite round.
The fifth.
Yeah, because there's some
Oh,
guys
I
that want.
see. You got the guy we were just talking
yes,
about.
Sir, yes,
okay,
sir.
all right.
So best player available for need is Davis Allen, tight end. Smartest pick would be Chandler Zavala or Bryce, who's a guard, or Bryce Ford Wheaton, wide receiver. The feels wrong, fits right pick is Clayton Tune, QB. Just because if those guys are on the board, I got to take them over Clayton Tune. But
this is also where
you should
if you're
draft
trying
the
to
QB.
if you're trying to find someone that you're gonna let sit beside or behind your starter for a couple years, and you think he's got intangibles to become a quarterback in the NFL, 5th round's when you got to take him.
And from this point on, if none of those top players are available, you trade. In my opinion,
I like it.
and try to collect more picks.
I like it.
Okay, so Davis Allen, this guy's a tight end. He does not have a lot of passes in his career, but he's a big boy. He's right on that 6'6" margin.
He's tall.
Kind of looks like he's like you're dressing up for Halloween and you're like taking a photo just before you go to trick or treat.
Yes, he looks like he's the football player.
Happy to be here.
He's looked like he's the captain on a Disney TV show.
He looks like he's playing the remake of Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh yeah, but Disney bought it and then Disney's relaunching it.
In real life, he's 34 years old playing a 18-year-old.
Yeah, right.
So he tracks passes from all angles. He's got long arms and soft hands.
That's
and
what we like to
he's
hear.
an intelligent multi-level blocker. I like this guy deep in this draft, if you can get him here in the 5th, because he has that blocking ability as well.
Yep.
Not very tested as a receiver, but from what you see, you can utilize him, and he's got that physical ability with his length and his height. Cons, though, he's not very fast and he's not athletic, and he has a limited route tree. So I don't know. Are we gonna?
You're not drafting him to be a Dalton Schultz replacement. You're getting him to help in the run game, basically.
Yeah,
Which I don't hate.
He can also get out there and catch the football, and I think bringing him in, although he's kind of like the the black sheep of the family, and if he was to come to the clone zone because of his hairstyles, it's a little
Dark
too
horse. They're gonna look at him and be like, "We lost Dalton for you."
But think about it. I think he would complement and come in very nicely and add that blocking fear, or plug that blocking hole, that blocking fear.
And
that
then
I have.
you kick out Fergalicious or Hendershot out to that receiving threat.
Exactly.
Right? So I don't hate it.
You know he's just going to show up day one and they're just going to surround him and be like, we're going to haze the shit out of you.
Every time I look
Right,
at
Dark Horse? Right, Bueller? Let's go.
every time I look at this picture of Chandler Zavala, guard, who's
like
our
it.
next pick, it looks like he's rubbing his nipples.
Oh, yeah.
Nipples are pretending he has T-Rex arms.
But he's a big dude, 6'5", 325.
Oh, that's a road grader right there.
They call him a mauler, and almost in every highlight I saw, of course, it's the highlights, he's pancaking a guy.
He's just taking
Boom,
people out.
Boom, boom. So power, agility, speed. He's surprising. His movement is very surprising for his side, and he's an explosive run blocker, which I really like.
Imagine getting hit by a guy that was 6'5", 325 pounds.
And he's probably heavier than 325.
Probably.
So cons, he struggles to stay engaged, so blocking wise, and he sometimes lacks a mean streak. So you want your guard to be mean.
You can get mean though. You can
get mean.
You can learn it.
Yeah.
You can learn it. Get Tyler Smith coaching you up a little bit.
And finally, our boy.
Yes, we were talking about him today in chat.
I mean,
Primarily just because of his name, Ford Wheaton would be great.
Oh, and the guy. I mean, look at his size. Okay,
Yeah.
This is what I look at. You're in the 5th round. You haven't drafted. Say we haven't drafted wide receiver. He's 6'4". He's 221 and he runs a 4.38.
He's fast.
Boom.
He's fast as
I'm
fuck.
sold.
He's big as fuck. Draft him. That even on that, just on
Even
that,
on that,
in the 5th round, if he's available, take him at just because of that.
But my question is, I don't know why he's so low, because when you look at his pros, he's a precise route runner. So you add that with his speed and his height. He's got quick, violent hands on press coverage, and he's a catch and run threat. Like
It's your number one con. I was reading about the top con is the whole reason. Low effort to create space. So he's never in college. He basically just relies. He's like, so say we're running and I'm right beside you. I'm going to catch it because I'm better than you.
Show me how you'd run again.
He's never in college. He never had separation. It was always contested catches. But I find that his other things are just such a bigger upside
at this point
than
absolutely.
that. In the 5th round, low effort to create space is trumped by 6'4", 221 with a 4.38 40 time in my mind.
And the other thing is he doesn't always use his hands on the deep ball. That can be taught, though.
I did notice that too. He doesn't attack it. He kind of runs down and he catches, catches low.
In on his body.
Instead of, it's like very Terrence Williams. He always is catching in the body, but he's a fifth round pick. If you can get a guy that big in the 5th round, I would love that in the 5th round. Even if we've drafted a wide receiver already.
I saw him make some amazing short yard catches and go long with them. I saw him make some nice deep ball catches, and I saw him be a threat in the red zone. So that, I mean, if you can get this guy in round 5, you got to do it.
I think so.
Even so fast you can't even talk about it. Lucky person, out there somewhere is going to win a silver cloud. What a lucky person.
Still feels like 50 seconds. AJ, great.
Does it though?
I always laugh. I always think it's good.
Go back to your title screen so I can just put that on the board.
Okay.
That was like a 45-minute prospect.
I liked it. I liked it. There's guys that I haven't thought about. There's guys now that we're going to be able to cross-reference this for our big board.
Prospect.
AJ's prospect looking good. Look at me. I'm looking at AJ's 88. Ad's looking at his alcoholic beverage.
But
wearing his 20 recently Stephon Gilmore jersey.
Oh yeah.
I think for the next one, like we were discussing earlier, we'll do the same thing 1 through 5. I think 5 is good.
5's good.
5's good.
5's good.
1 through 5, and we will do our dream draft.
Yep.
Dream draft scenario. So we'll pick a player, how we got, like we'll create a scenario, how we got them.
Yep.
And then we can just focus on our dream draft players.
Because I feel like it's funny because I read these big boards and there's lots of players that we're missing out on because there's no chance we're ever going to get them. Even like a lot of guys that are projected between, I'd say 1st and 15th, there's no chance we're getting any of those guys. And then players that are projected like 33 or like 32 to like 50.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there might be one that falls, but there's a pretty good chance we're not going to see any of those players. And those are a lot of the talked about guys. So, and then you look at a bunch of stuff, there's so much shuffle between those top 50 picks. So
would you look at that?
that's why the draft's fun.
Boots on the ground says never say never, Ant.
Hey, fair enough. Hey, I can't. Boots on the ground. What's up, brother?
He's been in a bit, but I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, boots on the ground. I cannot wait to have a crack 'em with boots on the ground at training camp.
Well, that's what we were talking about. We're trying to convince EJ to come to Oxnard.
Oh, EJ, just do it.
And then I said, Cowboys Can Fam, we're going to source a big Airbnb and try to get it to be a content house.
Oh yeah,
just full of people. Get some sponsorship in there.
Yeah, pants only.
Pants only.
I was gonna say shirts only.
Yeah, sure. You got to pick one.
Yeah, well, shirts. Sure, my vote shirts. Socks only.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
Hey, that was pretty good. Hey, man, AJ, I don't know what we would have talked about without your great presentation.
I woke up today. I was like, that's what I was thinking.
He did the slideshow that we saw. And then he had his like shitty MS-DOS notepad with like point form. Put it on the board for a sec.
Just literally notes. Yeah, Windows notes.
He's literally been doing that since he's known how to use a computer. That notepad is his.
Hey, it's genius.
Notepad's his go-to.
Notepad's the go-to. Okay, so what? We're going live Wednesday night for our 7th mock draft.
Yeah, and I believe
and maybe we're finally going to draft Cody Mach.
EJ
again.
We'll have EJ Savage, aka Will McClay, up in the hizzy
on Wednesday the 5th.
On Wednesday the 5th. Actually, why don't we do this for this upcoming mock draft? Let's pick players we want to draft.
I thought that's what we've been doing the whole time.
No, but then we'll go get them no matter the cost.
Oh, I like that. So we need to do a little. We
like
need to
Madden style. Like if you got to trade 2025 first rounder.
Okay, so what we'll do, and this doesn't involve anyone in who's watching, so maybe I'll talk about it off air. But definitely Wednesday night, 7th version 7.0 of the mock draft. Wow. We're going to be draft experts by the 27th,
Dude,
hey guys?
We're going to have 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll have 11 because
we're doing one.
Because we're doing one with just us.
The final day of.
No, the one with just us is going to be on the Sunday before the draft on draft week.
Yep.
On the 23rd, and then we'll be doing our one before the draft
actual
starts with our big war room.
Wow, that's interesting.
We're
I
going to
like
be
it.
ready. I feel
ready.
excited.
I'm excited for
I
the
feel
draft.
like Jerry better call us if he needs.
We're so much more prepared going to this draft than Ad and I just walking around Vegas drinking.
Yeah. Which I feel like
Was still fun as fuck.
we have to because we want to be able to talk the whole time.
Yeah.
So like when we were in Vegas, it was all about creating content out in Vegas.
Yep.
Even though we literally only put out like 1.5 episodes. Same thing.
Yeah, whatever. It was still fun.
But we have some never before seen content coming out before draft.
Yep.
About last year, about what you should do, draft experience, things like that. You can and maybe not going to say who, but one of us on the Cowboys fan team, the only one of the two of us who went down, tried their hand at kicking a field goal, and we'll see how it happened.
Nailed it. Okay, guys. So what? Wednesday or AJ? You have any closing? Let's
No,
say this. Any
just-
closing thoughts?
Oh, the only closing thought is
Who do you think's gonna? Do you think Cody Rhodes is gonna beat Roman Reigns tonight?
No, Roman Reigns is the. I even know who he is. He's gonna win.
Yeah, but Roman Reigns has been it's like he's on day 970 for being the champion.
He's winning still.
Cody Rhodes just came from AEW. Cody Rhodes, calling it right now. Cody Rhodes is taking the WWF championship title. Sorry,
Sucker
now back to
fish.
football.
what I think is my final thoughts is I just want to use this time to say for Boots on the Ground here in chat, he votes socks. A sock specifically, not socks, just one for the elephant trunk. And I think that is what I go with as well.
Hey, I ain't got no elephant trunk, but I agree. Okay, for the bandwagon boys over there, for everyone in chat, thanks for coming by. It's always a blast. We love talking football, especially right now. We're in the weird time of the NFL season. But for the BWBs over there, 1 and 2, and your boy at best, we will be back Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. CT, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and we're gonna do that 7.0 mock draft, baby.
Holla!
Holla, holla. We out.